So tonight we are going to talk about the word, the definition, indices, and evolution with its specific contents, which are the onomasiological theory of English word formation and English grammar, a historical perspective. And after that, we are going to answer these 6 guide questions, which will help us expound the idea even more. So, an onomasiological theory of English word formation. So, Pavul's de Cauwer presents an original approach to the intricate problems of English word formation. The emphasis is on the process of departure of coining a new naming unit, which are basically words. This is described by an onomasiological model, which takes as its point of departure the naming needs of a speech community and proceeds through conceptual reflection of extralinguistic reality and semantic analysis to the form of a new naming unit. As a result, it is the form which implements options given by the semantics analysis to the form of a new naming unit, a so-called form-to-meaning assignment principle. Word formation is conceived of as an independent component, interrelated with a lexical component by supplying it with a new naming units, and by making use of the word formation basis of naming units stored in the lexicon. The relation of the syntactic component is only mediated through the lexical component. In addition, the book represents a new approach to the productivity. So that is the idea of the onomasiological theory, English word formation. And next one is the English grammar, a historical perspective. So, the history of grammar. Anyway, what is grammar? Grammar of a language is about the way that language is structured, how the words are constructed, and the way they are related to each other in a sentence. A book about grammar is also known as a grammar. Of course, historically, early ways of communicating developed well before there was any thought about the structure of a language. But since the earliest beginnings of an interest in grammar, its understanding has been influenced by people interested in both language and philosophy. Definitions and attitudes to grammar and language in general have changed over the centuries. So, there are actually traditional types of grammars. One of that is the universal grammar and by Noam Chomsky and such, but I guess we don't have to dig deeper into that. So we're going to proceed to the guide questions. So first question is, how and when are the words created? So, how the words are created is through the word formations, because there are a lot of word formations which influence in creating a new word. But it depends on what word formation that falls. It could be that acronym, derivation, and back formation, and borrowing, and such. So the English language has developed over centuries, and many of the words we use today have come about from one of two overarching sources, evolving words from English or English adjacent languages themselves, or deriving from loan words from other languages, or like what I said earlier, the borrowing. Some of those adapted words called cognates still sound similar to false cognates, or words that sounds like they should be related in meaning but actually are not the trip of even expert writers. In fact, most new words are actually old words in different forms or with fresh functions. We often think about word formation as something that happened centuries ago, but in fact, it's something that continues to this day. So, when are words created? Words are created when there are new combination of words itself and new combination of meanings with certain specifications. Words are created through the use of it. So how are you going to use a word is how will you going also to create a word with its specific meaning that is appropriate for that certain sentence that you have created. So next question is, who decides the meaning attached to new words? Okay, the language speaking community as a whole decides. Dictionaries simply record the meanings. Here is very simplified overview of the process of who created the words. Lexicographers research how words are used, taking examples from multiple sources. They study what they found to determine what the writers meant in context. Depending on the needs of the dictionary, they probably give more weight to some sources than to others. So, in conclusion to that, who decides or who created a word is the language speaking community. It is a certain community who decides to create a word. It's just that the dictionary is simply a record with its specific words and definitions. But in the end, it's always the speaker or the communicator who employs or gives or creates the words that he is trying to portray or deliver. So that's it. And moving to the next question, what factors influence the meaning-making process?
So, good evening. So, one of the factors influence the meaning-making process is the variation of English language. Example for this are the word center in the American language into the word century or CENTRE in British English. So the next questions are, what are some word formation processes? So the word formation processes are the clipping, acronymy, blending, derivation,